Share a little bit of, again, how did you get from where you were to where you are? Just walk through a couple of things that we can share with people, that they can take away from what we're sharing today.
Definitely. So for me, like a big thing was when I started, I was always told like, hey, you have to have an ideal client. But then I was like, well, how do I do that? And no one really ever had an answer. It was real general, like, hey, you should work with business owners or teachers or federal employees. But no one ever told me how to actually figure that out. So everything that is in Conneqtor is about like, how did I learn the wrong way to do things and then figure out a better way to do them? So figuring out like my why, for example, like what's important to me, how do I want to run my life? How do I, how much money do I want to make? What do I want to be able to do for my family? Where do I want to live? Um, Figuring that stuff out actually has a direct impact on defining your ideal client and getting really niche. We have to get really niche in today's environment more than anything else. Being a generalist, you're now competing with everybody. Being a niche specialist, you have this blue ocean now where you can work with more than enough people out there to do what you want to do. But figuring it out is not as easy as one may think. So that was one of those pivotal moments for me, was actually taking a step back. It was like, who's Derek? What is Derek trying to accomplish? Who can Derek help better than anybody else? And then building my entire business, my brand, my messaging around all of that. For example, like on LinkedIn, I'm pushing 27,000 followers now. And over the last 12 months, my content's been viewed over 2.7 million times. It didn't cost me a penny other than just spending some time every day creating great content. And for me, again, Tom, if you're asking like some of the things I did when I started, I was deathly afraid of social media, of having a website, of posting content. Like I was what I call a creeper. I would go on to LinkedIn or Facebook and look what other people were doing. I'd never comment, and rarely I would like. Part of it was because I was a little worried about compliance, but I'll tell you folks, you don't need to be worried about compliance. You can do all of these things. There's way, and we even talk about that in the course.
Derek, let me just add, I've always said there are riches and niches as well. And,
100%.
I found my niche, retirement income. I do some life insurance, do some long-term care, but retirement income is my niche. And, people could have a niche of FedEx drivers or Amazon drivers or
totally,
plumbers,
yes,
or electricians or chiropractors or dentists. There's all kinds of niches that you can have, but you could be the go-to person in that industry or in that niche, and you could be the expert, and you could know everything about their pension plans and everything. I know people who are Boeing experts, and they know everything about the Boeing pension plan. They know about this, they know about that, all the rules, the in-force, the withdrawals that you can take. And so you can really niche down and become an expert in something. And then the other thing on social media, if somebody really doesn't know what to do with social media, because Derek, just like you, when I was at New York Life, I had nothing to do with social media, because all I saw social media do is get people fired or terminated or letters of reprimand because they liked something or shared something they shouldn't. So, but when I left there and started my own business, my brother-in-law said, "Man, you need to get on this. And I have literally built a business on social media, and I know you have too."
Yes.
And if people don't know what to post, why don't you follow Derek? Why don't you follow me and share our stuff? Because my whole social media strategy is to create content that you wish you had. And that's my strategy. And you can share the Alliance for Lifetime Income. You could follow Dr. Wade Pfau, Dr. Michael Finken, Dr. David Blanchett. When you see something good, you share what they do. That's what you have to do, because Derek, 90% of people on social media are lurkers. I won't say creepers, but I'll say lurkers, where they just go and they just watch, and they say about 7% of people will like something, and only about 3% of people actually post content. Exactly. Isn't that amazing? And so be one of those 3% that actually post something. Like, just do one a day, like a vitamin. If you did one post a day, you will slowly begin to build up a significant brand. And if you focus it on your niche and put stuff in that's important to them, hey, did you know that FedEx drivers do this? Or, whatever your niche is, do stuff for them, just like we do stuff for you.
That's exactly it, Tom. You're making me think of a couple of things here that are so important. Is that it's not about the advisor. We may be the best person to serve that particular client, but we have to solve the problem they have in their mind. They have something that's on their mind, right? It could be a problem. It could be something that they have to deal with, a transition in life. provide content around that. Show them you understand who they are, and that you're like, wow, that person just isn't schlepping whole life. Like, they're really cool. They understand me. They know me. And at some point, that person's going to need your help. They're going to think of you as that thought leader.
Yeah.
And it's so
I think
important.
authenticity is so important. You just don't want to push your product. Give them some lifestyle things, hey, RV, lifestyle in the summer is awesome. You can do things, whatever. You can do some sports stuff. You can do some family stuff, but be rounded in your post, but build yourself up as an expert in that area.